gonna do a different type of video today. Just gonna be me in the truck, but I gotta talk about some things. So I'm big on finance, and I'm big about saving money, and we're big about investing. So I got a pretty cool story to tell. So with the economy, my smart home business that I normally do has not been flying off the shelves. People have not been spending a ton of money on smart homes or anything. They're just like, that's just not that important when every dollar counts. And I've been feeling it in my business. So when you start running tight, it's when you start getting smarter. When everything's good, sometimes you just pay things, you don't really think about it or question it. So the first thing I ever questioned, this was a business related expense, was fuel. And I was like, what can I do about the fuel? Is there anything I can do? And when I started off that black diesel quest, I first tried to buy fuel in bulk from the manufacturers. And I was successful one time. They sold me fuel cheaper than I could buy it at the pump. And then they came back and told me that it's gonna be like more expensive to pump the next time around. In fact, I ordered it the next time around, and they charged me more than I can buy it at the pump for. They said, well, you need a bigger tank or you're gonna pay more, just go buy it from the pump. And I was like, that's some effed up stuff, from a company. And that company, I know who they are. My kids go to the same school. But they didn't do it themselves when their employees did that. Anyhow, I don't do business with them now. Anyhow, so then I got on the black diesel quest. And for y'all who watch the black diesel stuff, that's been wildly successful for the most part. I'm running on black diesel today. In fact, what was really cool, I talk about God in this channel here and there. We were completely out of black diesel, and I had to call around, and I found a barrel at my mechanic shop from a landscaping business, and then one of my friends who owns a boat shop also had it available. So we ended up getting 100 gallons of black or oil. So I went and picked that up, and on that same day, someone had 50 gallons of bad gas. If you know anything about bad gas, you can't burn it. It doesn't even light off. It's a very good tool to mix with diesel. So I had 100 gallons of oil I picked up, which is about $600 in street value to me. $600 in savings. So I went and picked that up on a day I wasn't working, which is not many days anymore. And then I had 50 gallons delivered to me. I was shocked. So when people don't think God's looking out for you, open your eyes, man. I said, and then another story about divine intervention. So I got that stuff. So it was New Year's Day, and I was supposed to be off, but my friend called me from the Bee and the Biscuit and says, hey man, our network's down. I love that restaurant. I got a whole review on it. And can't do this and that. I was like, man, let me just roll out there. I'll take the wife and kids. So I roll out to the Biscuit, fix their Wi-Fi or whatever's going on with it. And there happens to be a mechanic there named Lonnie, an old-time mechanic who used to own a junkyard. And we start talking cars. My favorite subject, cars, trucks. And Lonnie happens to have 6 barrels of oil sitting there. He's about to call and get sucked out. So I picked up 6 more. I got 6 more gallons or barrels of oil. And then someone hit me up that same day from a while ago on Facebook about another 55-gallon barrel of oil. So I got 7 barrels of oil, of 55 gallons, completely full, which will fuel my trucks for a very long time. 1 barrel for me lasts about 2 weeks. The service route that I run running my trucks. So just do the math. So 7 barrels of oil times 2, I got 14 weeks of free fuel. That's divine intervention from God. Can't make this stuff up. It happens all the time. So anyhow, with the economy tight, first thing I questioned was fuel. Wildly successful. Running on black diesel today. I love making my own fuel. A little time consuming, but as you get into that process, guys, it gets easier. You find a network of fuel to pick up, and then people start knowing that you use that stuff, and they happily bring you their oil. I get oil dropped off to me now. I love it. I'm like, thanks, man. I just drove to Suffolk for free from your 5 gallons of oil that you dropped off. Big difference. Big difference. That's like $150 a week I save there in that category, on average. So, do that time, let's just make it an even number, called 2 times that by 5. So what is that? 20, is that 20? Yeah, let's just say 200 a week. Let's just go 100 a week. We'll go low ball. Let's just say 100 a week times 50 Yeah, that's $5 grand a year I'm saving in fuel. Probably what is that, $7,250 roughly? Yeah, so I'm saving $7,200 a year on my little experiment. Big difference. All right, so after that was done, I started questioning all my other bills. So this is part of anybody who does finance. You start listing all your bills down. I'm like, all right, well, we're running real tight. My money ain't the same as it used to be, baby. You're not working because you've got too many kids. I blame her for that, not me. Actually, I blame Netflix. Netflix is not really $20 a month, guys. It's way more expensive if you Netflix and chill. The little people start running around, you never get any sleep. So then I was like, all right, let me question everything else I got. So then I questioned my bank, and I've been through banks. And my bank charges me bank fees, and it has overdraft fees. And if anybody's a business owner and you've ran tight, sometimes you just don't got any money. You're waiting on checks or something like that. And a lot of times I'm waiting on money. And I'll get hit with overdraft fees and this and that. And I'm like, and I got $15 a month in bank fees, which is, you'll call that $180 a year. Overdraft fees, I don't know what I paid in overdraft fees in the year, but you know, it's enough to notice something. So let's just say I might have $500 in overdraft fee years. So I questioned my bank. I was like, and we have the time to drive to the bank because you can only deposit up to $2,000 in a check. And I got plenty of checks, you know, when I do business that are over $2,000, and my wife's gonna drive to the bank, and we have to pick up some checks because certain people that mail checks, they never come in the mail. I won't say any names, but if you're a business, the checks in the mail is the best story. So we'll happily pick up checks. I'm like, hey, don't bother mailing it, we'll pick it up. And if you don't want to do that, pay online, ACH or credit card. I'll take it any way I can get it. But some people just want to write checks. So I looked online and I discovered I can go to a completely online bank. And one of the banks that I found does the system that I do called Profit First, from the book that I read called Profit First. Really good book. It teaches you basically how to run an envelope system in your business. So whether you have QuickBooks or no QuickBooks, you kind of have an idea of where all your money's going. You can direct your money. And that works really well. Except when you're going really tight, then you're just making it work. But you always have to save. Always got to save. Today, my savings paid our car insurance, which I'm questioning next. Because waiting on money. If all the money was in, it wouldn't have been a big deal. But sometimes this is what it is. So I save by switching banks to this bank, all online. I save the trips to the bank, which happens, you know, let's just say once, twice a week, for my wife. So she doesn't go nowhere no more. So that's how much time saved in fuel. I save $200 a year annually in fees, or basically, and then another $500. So let's just say I saved well over $1,000 a year just by switching to an online bank. That's $1,000 annually there. I got over $7,000 annually for fuel, so I got right there $8 grand back in my pocket a year. Makes a difference. That's $800 a month roughly, guys, or a little less than that, whatever, close enough. All right, so then I was like, all right, let me question my QuickBooks. I've had QuickBooks since QuickBooks was before online. Always use QuickBooks. I figured I'd question it. I was like, well, if there's that, maybe there's something different than QuickBooks that's cheaper, free, whatever, because I hate subscriptions. Well, I just found out that when I looked up that bank, they actually work with a checking company, a bunch of companies. They work with QuickBooks and other financial companies. One called Wave Financial, was also based for business owners that are small and have a lot of automated stuff. And it's a simplified version of QuickBooks, and they make their money off the fees and transactions. So there's no monthly fee for my QuickBooks anymore if I switch. I was like, sounds like a dang good idea to me. So I switched that. So when I switched that, I was paying $80 or $90 in QuickBooks a month, somewhere right there. So let's just call that another $1,000 a year I saved right there. We're just gonna use round numbers. So now I'm at $9,000 a year back in my pocket. You know, see how you get a raise when you're self-employed, guys? I'm like, all right, that's great. I got $9,000 a year I saved. Well, then I was like, all right, well, what else can I what else can I question? So I questioned our phone bill, and I've already been through the phone bill ringer, man. I have been through the ringer. I had Verizon at one point in time, and God knows they charge an insane amount of money. So I switched to T-Mobile, and I dropped my bill by half. So I was at $250 on the phone bill. I thought I was good. Well, I questioned our devices. I'm like, do we really need 2 cell phones with cell cards? Do we need the watch on the cell card? You know, the answer is no. Don't really need any of that because I can tether the stuff. So I can drop money there in the bill. But then I decided to look at plans. And I discovered Google Fi. and $25 a month for unlimited per line. And they have their own VPN built in, and they'll give you a free Google phone, but I still got my iPhone. I kept it because for iPhone everything, they got me. And so $75 a month versus $250 originally. I just saved, another $1,500 a year. So what I'm at, almost, $10,500, close to $11,000 a year right there that I just saved, and I switched that over. I did it all online. It was easy. Oh, no. I'm not even done yet. Then I questioned my email. Now, most of y'all, if you run a business, you probably use @Gmail. Well, I've been in business a long time. I'm @SpartanPro.com. I got to pay for that. It's not free. I was paying $90 a month. I never questioned it because, never thought about it. Well, I have to look to see what I'm paying for. So there, I was paying $90 a month for the enterprise package of Google, which is a whole bunch of stuff. And I was like, well, do I need the enterprise package or the basic? I just need the basic. So I dropped my bill from $90 down to $36. So, call that $60 a month. That's $700, $700 plus to save. So what am I at, like almost $12,000, somewhere around there. Someone can keep count. I'm not keeping count, I'm just talking. So I put, this year another $12,000 back in my pocket there. So that's going through all the categories. And then we don't eat out. That never happens with all the kids we got. We bake our own bread. Bread's another category. Now this was just for fun and to be healthier, because if you ever read your ingredients in your food, they're trying to poison you, man. It's not really bread. It's not really pizza. And we used to eat store-bought pizza all the time. Never thought of it. Then one day I read the ingredients. I'm like, babe, there's like 50 ingredients in here. So anyhow, we started off with bread. Bread's about $3 to $4 a loaf. We go through about 2 loaves a week. That's $8 a week. No one ever thinks about it. I didn't really think about it. I just did it to be healthier. Now we make 2 loaves of bread a week. It's home-baked bread. I got the recipe down pat. It's in an automatic machine. So we save $8 a week in making our own bread. That's 8 times 4. That's $32. That's almost $500 a year annually that we save in making our own bread, and everybody loves it. Well, that's not even the half of that. We cut another expense. That pizza bothers me still. I was like, well, we bake our own bread, we can make our own pizza. So we bake our own pizza now, and it's like, all the bread ingredients for the most part, and then cheese and pepperoni. The ingredients went from 50 down to like 10, and it is absolutely delicious. Fantastic. So pizza, that size pizza for our family is like $20 if you want to buy it from the store that we make. And maybe I'll make a video on that later. It's probably on my wife's channel about making bread and all that. And so that's just a side note on personal stuff, not even business stuff saved right there. So what's that, $13,000 right there, and just a few little changes that you can put back in your pocket. And the whole point of this exercise is, you gotta, if you ever want to get anywhere in life, you gotta save enough and invest enough to make it work. I'm trying to increase our savings rate. It's just not enough. It's not enough to get me where I want to get. I'm trying to get to the 5, financial independence. And I got a lot of kids, and we got one income, and it's not easy. So just a pretty cool little talk about, if you're a business owner, all the little things you can do if you're self-employed just to save money, and just basic things. So with all that savings, I can put that savings to food, groceries, whatever I gotta do. So the next thing I'm going to question is my truck insurance, and all my insurances in general. I haven't gotten to them yet, but I'm paying it's supposed to be $6,000 a year annually for my truck insurance, and they keep hitting me like $800 bills a month. I just had to pay one today, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how is this $6,000 a year annually if it's $800 like every other payment? So truck insurance is next, and from there. So that's how I've saved, what is that, $12,000 a year annually, and gave myself a raise or savings, and we can make it on a single income as a family of, we got 3 kids, me and my wife. It's gonna be 6 soon. The new baby's gonna be born soon. Family of 6. That's how we do it. Don't eat out. Save every category you can. We buy stuff. Almost everything we buy is like secondhand. Besides maybe clothes for her, or work clothes for me. Sometimes they're secondhand. But we'll buy kids' clothes in bulk for like 2 years, you know, for the younger kids and sizes, you know, and having the new baby, we still have all the old baby clothes. So the savings goes down the street. Our phones, we own all of our phones. I refuse to pay $1,000 for a phone. It drives me nuts. It's like, man, you buy a car for that back in the day. Our phones, I try to buy them used. I buy like a year or two model behind. Like my phone was an iPhone 12. They're about to be on the 15, and so forth. So those are the, you know, that's just the things we do. So anyhow, I'll leave it there. It's good enough. You get the idea. Save money. Believe in God. He's going to help you in a ton of ways. He's saving the most money all the time. And thanks for watching. Subscribe.